Hello everyone and thank you for watching. In this video I would like to introduce you to an upcoming game I'm very excited about. The game is called Grey Zone Warfare. It's an immersive tactical first-person shooter with a maximum focus on realism. And now without further delays, let's dive in. The action will be happening on a fictional Southeastern Asian country called Lamang. After a cataclysmic event, the island was evacuated and the entire area has been put under international quarantine, with all United Nations members agreeing not to trespass. Seeing that the island was practically abandoned, many organized crime groups gathered in Lamang to plunder what was left or even claim the island entirely, engaging in skirmishes with Lamang armed forces. The first private military company arrived shortly after, followed soon by two others. After establishing foothold in the region, they all started advancing towards what is now known as Ground Zero. Since I'm not qualified enough to talk about what is Grey Zone Warfare, I will show you a part of an interview with an expert who will explain it. You can find the link for the full interview in the description below.
Top it off, how would you define Grey Zone Warfare?
Well, one of my jobs now is I advise the Pentagon on things like special operations and all these things that go on in the shadows of modern warfare. And what the Pentagon calls this type of warfare, they call it gray zone warfare. And think of gray zone as what happens in the twilight between you're not at peace, but you're not at war. And this is areas of special operations forces, Delta Force, SEAL teams. This is what they do. This is what they're doing in Syria right now. This is what they're doing around the world in places people will be surprised. So this is called gray zone warfare. It's covert operations.
Players will have the option of selecting one of three private military companies, with varying backstories and starting positions on the map. They are Lamang Recovery Initiative, Mitra Security Systems and Crimson Shield International. Each private military company will consist of 16 players, which brings the total to 48 players plus 1000 AI enemies. Here is a little background for each one of them. Lamang Recovery Initiative. Founded and funded by a tech billionaire, the Lamang Recovery Initiative publicizes itself as a strictly philanthropic exercise. It's also sending in teams of scientists and technicians to identify and map the worst areas of contamination as the beginning of a planned cleanup. Small, highly professional security details accompany these science teams to protect them from some of the other, far less altruistic factions operating in the area. Despite the presence of these security contractors, the entire Lamang Recovery Initiative operation is peaceful and philanthropic. At least that's what the official PR statement claims. Mitras Security Systems. Mitras presents itself as a private military company run by soldiers for soldiers, and it doesn't ask too many questions about an operator's motivation or past history. The only real bar to Mitras membership is a lack of field experience or military competence. It prides itself on only accepting the best and pays accordingly. Few Mitras operators really understand what it is they're dealing with during this op. Most just don't care. They're paid to do a job, not ask questions. Their clients value ongoing silence about anything that occurs in Lamang, and Mitras respects that silence. Crimson Shield International. This private military company rose to infamy during the early stages of the Syrian civil war. While they boast an impressive 95% success rate, some of their methods can be seen as somewhat questionable, often resulting in collateral damage. That said, no one can deny their effectiveness and cold-blooded approach to any job that needs to be done. This gung-ho nature attracts not just ex-military personnel, but basically anyone with a lust for adventure and action. However, thanks to their strict elimination process, only the truly exceptional soldiers ever make it as far to be deployed on an actual combat mission. The people at Madfinger Games strongly believe in the player's intelligence, and they try to stay as far away from excessive hand-holding as possible. Therefore, don't expect any massive waypoint markers guiding you step by step through the world. Read the briefing carefully, familiarize yourself with the land, and execute your plan. Furthermore, they have implemented branching decisions where after the player receives a quest, another character can chime in with a slightly different proposition. The players can pick according to their moral compass or just because they like the reward more. Completing the quests and choosing with whom to cooperate will shift the player's reputation with each character, providing them with new possibilities or different choices. We as players can look forward to around 150 quests at the early access launch of Grey Zone Warfare, with more being added over time. The quests will be handed out by various characters, with the names and backgrounds of 3 of them revealed so far. They are Anton Jackson, Gunny. A retired US Marine Corps gunnery sergeant, Gunny doesn't seem to much like anything or anyone. However, he is extremely good at what he does. That's why the private military companies recruit him to help run their operation. And if part of that job means looking after the company's operators, then that's what he is going to do to the best of his abilities. Laya Huang, artisan. Artisan has worked at her father's workshop since she was a little girl, learning all there is to know about machines and how they work. She blames the United Nations Lamang Relief Agency for the chaos their arrival caused and thinks of the private military companies as opportunistic vouchers scavenging whatever remains of value in her country. Despite this animosity, she offered her services as a mechanic. Naturally reserved and wary of others, gaining her trust could prove challenging. However, once earned, her expertise and knowledge of Lamang could become a pivotal asset. James Miller, Banshee. For Banshee, the turbulent events unfolding in Lamang were akin to a gold rush. The widespread chaos proved to be a lucrative market for his trade, attracting a surge of potential clients in dire need of his merchandise. Unfettered by moral reservations, Banshee operates under a simple yet effective principle. Anyone with the means to pay is a potential collaborator. He gladly brings in possible business partners for his various plans, setting up deals that promise gain for everyone involved. Madfinger Games are striving for realism, and they have implemented some amazing systems in the game to make it as real as possible. There is a unique health system where injuries impact perception and performance. You need to identify the injury and how to properly treat it, and assist teammates if needed. Injuries encompass bruises, bleeding wounds, broken bones, damaged organs, and pain. Players will also need to manage energy and hydration. You'll have a possibility to craft your ideal weapon by modifying, swapping, or adding parts for versatile performance in any situation. The studio has also implemented an advanced simulation of external and terminal ballistics, ensuring accuracy by using real-world data for ammunition and protective materials. You can see a small part of it now, and you can find the link to the full video in the description below. For movement and animations, Madfinger have recruited an ex-Special Forces soldier to do the motion capture for almost everything from running, climbing over objects, proning, and weapon handling. You can see a small portion of it now, and as always you can find the link for the full interview in the description below. And with this, I would like to thank Madfinger Games for this opportunity and to wish them best of luck with their game, and I cannot wait to play it for myself. Thank you.